So potentially what we could be looking at here is more triangular. So do we think, guys, we need to build weight or reduce weight? Build weight. Yeah, well done. Good. Welcome to another edition of our YouTube series, where today we are bringing two really creative and contemporary haircuts for you to see. In my model Tom today, guys, what we're looking to do is a little bit of weight correction, where what I want everyone to see, where we simply have an issue here, where we have a shorter length towards the top, longer length towards the middle, and then gets slightly shorter towards the external once again. So what we hope to do in this scenario is actually ensure that our shape becomes fluidly triangular, and that we have the shortest length towards the bottom and our longest length, or the maximum amount of weight, is built towards the top or the contour. So I'm going to walk you through some classic graduation today, complement with nice skin taper on the edges as well, guys. Stay tuned for more. Why is it off centre? The growth pattern. Do you see that? Look how in line this falls with our growth pattern at the back. Do you see that? So when we build weight, when we remove weight, we must acknowledge these things. Remember the fixed factors that we talked about. We must base our sections around the things that we cannot change, i.e. the growth patterns. Alright? Way to the bottom. Okay. Fine side of the comb goes in. Little tap. Brush all that down. What I'm going to offer is a slightly triangular cutting line. Here we go. Fingers come away. Knuckles closer, scissor comes out, we retract the scissor each time. Alright, clean cutting lines. Fine side of the comb goes in underneath, bring my fingers now slightly closer to the base, and we make sure that gets in nice and tight. And there's section number one. Alright, see that? Alright. Still a little bit on the round part and quite a lot on the flat part, aren't we? We're on two areas. So if I'm on two areas, guys, what I need are two different techniques. On the round part, if I want to build a little bit of weight, what should I do? Say again.
Curve it.
Curve it, okay. What techniques will help me build weight? What technique helps me build weight, guys? Will elevation help me build weight?
Over direction.
Over direction, hello. Mr. Aiden in the mix. Over direction, guys. If I want to build some weight, I over direct back to previous. If we want graduation, which is a build up of weight, it needs to go from shorter to longer. Now, guys, what I want to do is start from the bottom, work my way to the top. Section number one. Alright, here we go. Little retraction on the scissor each time. Obviously, there's some bits that are probably going to be shorter than others. Yeah? There we are. Notice how, guys, I'm stepping right to follow the shape of the head, and we call this working on the base. When you work on the base, you're just basically reflecting and recreating the shape of the surface that you're working on. Groom, check the line, cut it, move on. Grip, groom, check, and we move on. We just follow this process the whole way down the bottom, guys. Very, very simple. Like so. There we are. Check my guide each time. Coming into the back now, there we go. There's my guide from the previous section I just cut. Cut into that now. And we connect the two sections and panels together. Okay, so here we go. Coming that right on back there. Okay, and that's how you want it to flow, guys. You see that breakage going on there. So here's what I want to do. I want to take a nice little diagonal section going into the front. Okay, and I'm going to over direct my section back ever so slightly. Okay, now, if I over direct something, what happens to it? Builds weight and it gets longer, doesn't it? So here's what I want to do. There's my guide from the back. Angle my fingers towards the front. I'm going to over direct it right down. Maximum weight. I'm going to put in a nice triangular cutting line at the bottom here. I'm using my cutting line now to help me with the shape. Okay, now, observe what's happening here. It's starting to get longer. But at the same time, what I'm doing is actually connecting it into the front so that there's not that much of an apparent disconnection from the front to the work that we just done on the sides. So I'm going to angle it back ever so slightly. Nice little cut line on in there. Okay, there we are. Making sure progressively gets from shorter to longer, okay? Right up underneath our graduation, I'm going to reduce some of this little bit of weight underneath here. Reducing the weight on the sides. Now if I feel it's a little bit heavy in places, I'm going to bring my number 3, invert it and just slim in the weight line a little bit. And that's if I feel it's a little bit heavy. But if it's sitting nice as it is, that's fine, that's great. All the way into the back. So number 2. I'm going to flick that number 2 right underneath where number 3 was. Nice and diagonal. One first there, guys. There we go. And number 1 going in. All I'm going to do underneath that, guys, is bring him a 0.5 right underneath my number 1. Okay, there's the transition. Close it. Keeping that little area there, guys, very, very simply. And then where it needs it, just the 1, the length and everything right on up like so. 1.5, I'm going to go in between the 2 once again. And we just blend out that taper there nice and light.
So, obviously this is a haircut that would kind of scare anyone when it comes in the door, because if this walked into a normal barber shop, some barbers would just say no. So, with Alan's mullet, obviously for the breakdown, what I'd like to do is start on the sides and back. Because what would happen if I cut the top first, guys?
Won't blend into the sides.
Yeah, could be too short. So that means if you cut the top first and then graduate the sides, wouldn't connect, be too short on top for the length on the sides. So what would I like to do? Cut the sides first. So that gives me my overall shape, and then I can connect it in with the top. Now, obviously Alan's a bit more fairer in colour on the sides, so for a taper, I will be doing a quite high one, but I'll be using a bit of a different technique with it, just to build that contrast transition. I don't want it to look like a zero all over, you know. Yeah. simple box section, nothing too crazy, nothing too overcomplicated. And then we move to the back. So this is where the disconnection applies. So you can see where I basically sectioned off Alan's occipital bone. That's where I'm going to use my guide to stop for my mullet. So normally I would do this visually, but I just want to show you how simple this can apply, and it literally takes 2 seconds. It won't be anything too complicated. Right in here, guys, take that corner right out. Finger tight. Next section. Now guys, because Alan's hair is a bit more on the finer side, I can allow for bigger sections here. If the hair is denser, then you'd want smaller sections. So, there's my guide. Stopping. Still elevating, guys. Coming right into this corner here. See this extra bit of length. Pivoting my fingers out towards me. Yeah. Shortest long piece. Take that corner away. Usually I'm not doing a lot, but when I come to the front, I'm going to round it to take away that corner. Yeah. See that? Last section. Pull this right out. Clearing that weight. .5 right underneath the transition. Close to number 1, right underneath the 1.5. Just beneath the 1 and close. Just blending all of that together, guys.